Right, so South Africans, we're going places, and I mean literally. Discovery Bank data from December shows that at least 67,000 flights were taken across 70 routes in the country and 12,000 flights across 700 routes around the world. Discovery Bank CEO Hylton Kallner joining us this morning. Hylton, appreciate the time. Good morning to you as well. And if I have the numbers correct, we're getting close to pre-COVID-19 levels, aren't we? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks for having me. Absolutely. I mean, we certainly at a spend level, we've seen a full recovery to levels of spend on travel that are in excess of pre-COVID levels, and that's really encouraging. And it's both sort of into the country and outside of the country and within South Africa, so that our South African clients are really traveling. And it's a sort of the concept of revenge travel in a sense, and post-COVID. We're seeing it come back with a vengeance.
I hadn't thought of revenge travel. There are worse things to have revenge about than travel as well. It's a good thing in this case because money's coming in, money's going out, and people are living their best lives again as well. And this is important, I imagine, for a brand like Discovery as well, because it's not just a bank as a brand itself. It's about lifestyle, it's about wealth, it's about health. And people, when managed correctly, are finding themselves back in positions financially, Hylton, where they can go and do this. And that's good for your bank, of course it is, but it's good for people's finances because they're being responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that travel is quite a remarkable sort of vehicle for a range of things. So for incentives, we found that the incentive of a flight or the offer of a large discount on travel is a massive incentive to get people healthier, as an example. And the travel itself tends to also be sort of a stress release for a lot of people, and it has a positive impact on them as a result of that. So from our sort of shared value model, travel is quite unique and quite powerful. So the sort of the banking element that we've really introduced now is to make it simple and seamless and use the payment rails of the bank that we've built out over the last couple of years to make booking travel more affordable and much simpler for our clients as well.
It's almost developed into a way of life. I mean, obviously Discovery Bank and Discovery back in the day, it was about promoting, as I said, health, wealth, lifestyle, travel, etc. And a lot of people in the early days of Discovery, perhaps even before Discovery Bank per se came into being, a lot of people were saying, look, all I want to do is pay for my medical aid. Don't give me all the bells and whistles. But I mean, these numbers are showing the value in something like that as well, because it's one of the only organizations as yours that's doing this in line with what other companies are doing overseas. This is a global trend for a bank to be able to improve your lifestyle.
Yeah, and we've looked at every element of it. So if you go to the airports, as an example today, you'll find that there are fast-track priority lanes for Discovery Bank clients, just making the process simpler and easier. We've got lounges domestically, internationally, and across the globe for our clients. But I think what's really powerful in the context of travel today is that travel is expensive. The sort of the price per flight, given the pressures of things like fuel, has really increased. What we've been able to do is to offer our clients discounts when they book with us of between 10 and 75% off every single flight. So we've physically really brought down the cost and the barrier to traveling for our clients, which is, as you say, sort of right at the leading edge of what we see globally, and that's proved to be very powerful. So for example, we find that we're filling with our clients today on flights booked through our platform around about 7 to 10 planes per day of Discovery and Discovery Bank clients that are booking discounted flights on the platform. It's quite amazing.
It is. It's actually a very clever way of looking at it as well. I suppose this is also a cheaper way of getting tourism up and running instead of buying sponsorship with an English Premier League team. But that's just me. We'll talk about the Minister of Tourism a little bit later this morning as well. Give me a sense, and I want to try and compare and contrast here, Hylton. When we talk about pre-COVID-19 levels, we seem to be going back that direction. How damaging was COVID-19? Because I don't think you and I had a chance to speak during that as well. How damaging was that? And were you expecting a recovery like this?
So I think that, COVID was devastating for the hospitality industry and travel more broadly. And you saw that in the impact that it had on airlines in particular, and hotels and general hospitality through that period. But what we've seen is that the players that have emerged post-COVID are really doing well. So we see really high occupancy levels in our hotel partners. We see flight utilization at sort of the highest levels that we've ever seen in Discovery, and that's really encouraging. And we see our customers, as you said it right at the outset, flying everywhere. You know, they're traveling extensively domestically and really enjoying what South Africa has to offer. And I think that's also a function of COVID, because you couldn't really travel outside of the country, and South Africans really discovered South Africa, which I think is a really powerful sort of outcome, and a positive outcome of COVID, if you think about it in that way. But now they're sort of seeing relatives, visiting family, getting back to life as normal internationally. One of maybe the trends that's interesting that we've seen is that travel is more experiential now and aimed at the leisure market. We have seen sort of a reduction of some of the business travel, where people are using virtual more and more because it's so cost efficient. But I think the sort of the leisure volumes and the revenge travel that I alluded to earlier have more than compensated for that. We're seeing just amazing travel stats.
And just in closing, I'm just curious to get your thoughts, because you spoke about the domestic travel, Hylton, and the increase we've seen there. I understand, obviously, you're in the banking sector. I'm not asking you to comment on the airline sector, but how worrying was it knowing that a big portion of your rewards program is flights, and we'd seen a couple of airlines going offline in South Africa, so there was less of a spread for you to promote your product. What was your view on that? How worried were you?
So I think it was obviously a major concern at the time, and we have lost probably about 30% of the overall capacity in flight travel as a result of that through the COVID period. What we did was we reconfigured our rewards program, our benefits, to actually use the travel platform that we've now built into the bank to actually provide our clients with access to every single domestic airline. So you can book on any South African airline flying domestically, whether it's Safair or Airlink or Lyft or Semair. Any of the airlines that operate locally will actually qualify for a discount on our platform. And so traveling domestically is actually the cheapest on the Vitality Travel platform through the bank that clients can actually access.
And Hylton, I'll leave this as a last question as well. I'm going to bring us back down to ground level. I want to talk about cost of lifestyle, interest rates going up, cost of fuel going up, etc. Are you worried about the impact that'll have on these offerings, knowing how much tighter budgets are getting? And I understand Discovery is a higher LSM bank, of course, but that middle to upper class are getting squeezed a bit. How concerned are you about cost of living?
So I think cost of living is a concern for every client, no matter what segment they sort of sit in today. The focus on sort of value and the need to offer really sort of the best pricing becomes crucial. So I think what we've launched in terms of our travel booking platform is really consistent with that. Allows our customers to view the entire market, see the best price, see the discounts that they qualify for right there, and so for a cost-conscious traveller, this is really something that's beneficial. So I think notwithstanding the fact that we recognise that sort of disposable income will come under pressure, we also recognise that our clients want to still sort of enjoy their hard-earned income and spend it wisely, and that's what this is a part of.
Yeah, spend it wisely, but spend it while you're having fun as well. Hylton, I appreciate your time and coming on to speak to us. It's good news. It's a good conversation to have economically for a change. Hylton Kallner, Discovery Bank CEO. We're back to pre-COVID-19 levels as far as local travel is concerned, also international travel as well. I see here it was around 73 million rand of flights that were booked during the festive period as well. So there's certainly no concerns when it comes to tourism.